Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
We're going to talk about the history behind us being called lazy. And see, this is one thing the immigrants that just jumped on the bandwagon and started saying this too. Y'all don't realize there's a history behind that. And it goes all the way back to chattel slavery. And number two, these folks got a hell of a lot of nerve calling someone lazy. When you look at their history, you'll really see who the real lazy one is. But back on this subject matter. This thing started way back during chattel slavery, and it has a long history. After slavery was over, there were a lot of things that happened. And one of the things that happened was this thing about calling us lazy. And our folks were called lazy even during chattel slavery. And it was just a way to dehumanize us and justify punishing us. After slavery was over and we wanted to be paid for our labor, then, they really started ramping up on calling us lazy. And if you look at their history, they got a hell of a lot of nerve calling someone lazy. I think when a people come on a land and get a bunch of handouts, they shouldn't be calling anyone lazy. So, back on track. I went to Chat GPT to see what answer it would give on all of these groups, white people and these immigrants, all calling us lazy, just to see what kind of answer I would get. So I'm going to let you hear that answer.
The stereotype that Black people are lazy is a long-standing racial myth, and it's not true. It's rooted in history, economics, and racism rather than reality. Here's a breakdown. Historical roots of the stereotype slavery era. During chattel slavery in the U.S., enslaved Africans were forced to work under brutal conditions from sunrise to sunset. Calling them lazy was a way for slaveholders to justify violence and harsher punishments if someone resisted, slowed their pace, or tried to preserve their health. Post-emancipation. After slavery ended, Southern white elites and newspapers often labeled freed Black people as lazy to argue against fair wages and civil rights. This was propaganda to promote sharecropping and low-paid labor systems that benefited landowners. Immigrant assimilation. Some immigrant groups adopted anti-Black stereotypes, including the lazy myth, as a way to align themselves with white society and gain acceptance, especially in the early 20th century. Economic reality. Black Americans have historically had higher participation in low-wage labor and longer working hours in many industries compared to their white counterparts, due to limited access to generational wealth and discrimination in hiring. Federal labor statistics consistently show no evidence that Black people work less than other racial groups. In fact, when adjusted for opportunity, Black workers often have equal or higher work effort. Why the myth persists. Racial hierarchy preservation. The stereotype supports the idea that if Black people are struggling economically, it's because of personal failings rather than systemic racism. Media reinforcement. Negative portrayals in movies, TV, and political rhetoric often recycle lazy, unmotivated caricatures, deflection by immigrants and whites. For some, repeating this stereotype distances them from being associated with Black struggles and aligns them with the dominant group. The truth. The lazy label has no factual basis. It's a social weapon created to control, justify inequality, and prevent solidarity among different groups. Black communities have historically been among the most entrepreneurial, resilient, and industrious, often working twice as hard to gain half the recognition. Yes, in many cases, that lazy stereotype is partly fueled by jealousy, especially when Black people succeed or excel in areas where others didn't expect them to. Why jealousy plays a role. Economic competition. Historically, Black workers often excelled in trades, agriculture, music, sports, and business despite systemic barriers. Some white people and certain immigrant groups felt threatened by this success, so the lazy label was used to discredit hard work and achievements. Cultural influence. Black culture, music, style, language, and innovation has influenced the world. That level of impact can breed envy, especially from those who feel overshadowed. Stereotyping becomes a way to downplay that influence. Survival strategy for others. Immigrants arriving in America sometimes adopted anti-Black stereotypes, including the lazy myth, to gain social acceptance from white society. Jealousy of Black resilience and creativity may have made it easier for them to repeat harmful narratives rather than align with Black communities. Discomfort with Black excellence. When a group that's been historically oppressed still achieves high levels of success, it challenges the myth of white superiority. For some, it's easier to dismiss that success with insults than confront the truth.
The bottom line is, it has never been true. Many of us get up and work very hard every day to maintain our lives, our families, homes, and anything that we're taking care of. And we have been doing this since being in the land. So you can say these things, but if y'all get too out of pocket, because we have seen Karen and Darren, and many of you immigrants that have gotten out of pocket online, you have lost your jobs. And I say that is justice when you go overboard, which many of you have. So you can say it if you want, and y'all can go on your little rants. So many of you have come online and gone in rants, and you have paid the price for all of that too. And we already know what happened to Karen and Darren out here. You know, all you got to do is video them and send it to their job, and it's all over for them. So, ladies and gentlemen, I like that answer it gave. I think it was accurate, and I think it was true. But you have to let me know what you think in the comment section. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.